down. Ah, this is so angry. Yeah, they don't give you shoes in hell. Go figure. But wait a minute. It's made entirely of gold. I'm rich.
It is written, my house shall be a house of prayer, and you have turned it into a den of thieves.
The Bilderberg, you weren't there?
No. Money. It's evil. Gives you power. People do crazy stuff for money, like work. But the US dollar is backed by nothing. Complete fiat currency. Gold standard. Anyone that's tried to implement a gold standard has gotten shot. But if you have it, you're rich. You're wealthy. But what makes you rich? The only thing rich about it is knowing the trick. So we get our money from the bank, but the bank gets its money from a place called the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the one that actually prints the money. So the US government issues the Federal Reserve a treasury bond. Then they print the money, then give it to the bank with interest. So it's actually just an IOU that gets paid back with interest. So let's say the bank gets $10 billion from the Federal Reserve. It only needs to keep 10% as reserve. Then it loans 90% out to you with interest. So you pay it back with interest, then the bank pays the Federal Reserve with interest. Then the Federal Reserve keeps it. That's it. They collect back their IOUs, and that's it. Wait a minute. They have to print more IOUs to cover the interest of those IOUs. So they literally have unlimited IOUs. Unlimited money. Even better, even the name Federal Reserve is a lie. It's actually a private bank with no reserves. The whole scam is all smoke and mirrors. But who's behind that one-sided beer?
Reserve is one of these organizations. I know, it's one of these organizations that a lot of people say is the source of even main projects all across the world because it's a private bank.
That was started by your family.
The European government collapsed and was replaced. It was the Rothschilds who were first in line to provide loans. The same service that the International Monetary Fund provides today. Provided loans to governments, doing both at a great profit. The loaning business was immensely successful, managed to build one of the greatest fortunes in history at a time of rampant anti-Semitism.
The 19th century Rothschild policy of keeping it in the family. I'll quote you from what he wrote, to make you smile. In our family, we've always tried to keep love in the family. Children would never think of marrying outside the family, have been particularly involved with Israel.
Jekyll Island, Jekyll Island, 1913, sir. I mean, but sir, just one thing. We could go on about how, your family committed all these acts against society.
So an ancient, money-grubbing family of vampires is the one who's stealing all the money? And that Jacob looks familiar.
These streets are paved with gold.
We have a system called fractional reserve banking, which means that banks can lend money that they don't actually have. It's a criminal scandal and it's been going on for too long. We have counterfeiting, sometimes called quantitative easing, but counterfeiting by any other name. The artificial printing of money, which if any ordinary person did, they'd go to prison for a very long time.
Which consists of your balance sheet.
Those are swaps that were done with foreign central banks. Many foreign banks are short dollars. We swap our currency, dollars, for their currency, euros. They take the dollars, lend it out to the banks in their lending to the central bank. The central bank is responsible for repaying us.
So who got the money?
To financial institutions in Europe and other countries.
Which ones?
I don't know.
$500 billion and you don't know who got the money? And under what legal authority?
We have a long-standing legal authority to do swaps with other central banks. It's not an emergency authority of any kind.
It's very, very important that Congress take necessary action to raise the debt ceiling to avoid a situation where our government doesn't pay its bill.
And yet governments and central banks do it all the time. Central banks repress the amount of interest that rates are, so we don't have the real cost of money. And yet we blame the real retail banks for manipulating LIBOR. So when banks go broke through their own incompetence and chicanery, the taxpayer picks up the tab. It's theft from the taxpayer. And until we start sending bankers, and I include central bankers and politicians, to prison for this outrage, it will continue.
Even if we do get our cash back, that's just like a drop in a whole ocean full of gold.
Could vote on it. Maybe they'll give up on the Federal Reserve note and vote for real money.
I'd be very happy to talk to you about it.
Thank you very much. You took over the Fed in 2006. I have a silver ounce here, and this ounce of silver back in 2006 would buy over 4 gallons of gasoline. Today it'll buy almost 11 gallons of gasoline. That's preservation of value, and that's what the market has always said should be money. Money comes into effect in a natural way, not in an edict, not by fiat, by governments declaring it is. But why is it that we can't consider, the two of us, an option? You love paper money. I think money should be honest, constitutional, still on the books, gold and silver, legal tender.
Dollar terms, gold is going to infinity.
Fort Knox, the United States Mint claims that this fort holds 4,578 metric tons of gold, worth a little over $238 billion in 2012. But again, estimates vary widely. In fact, some people believe there's no gold in Fort Knox at all.
Fort Knox, okay. No, we don't know. And there's a very good chance it's not there or that it's been pledged. I suspect the gold is not there. The Germans decided we're just supposed to hold gold for foreign governments. The Germans asked for their gold and they didn't get it. You cannot believe the government on what they tell you about the gold. That's why gold should be in the hands of the people.
Well, if we can't have an American gold-backed currency, maybe a different country can run a similar type gold currency. That's the solution.
Been headed, and that is to make the yuan a reserve currency and ultimately potentially to be a replacement for the US dollar, especially if they have the good sense to back up their currency with their enormous gold reserves, which I think China is deliberately underreporting, and I think they are accumulating more and more gold quietly and maybe secretly, because I do think that ultimately that is their intention, to have a gold-backed yuan become the predominant currency in the world.
There'd be no European Central Bank accountable to no one, least of all to national parliaments. Because the point of that kind of European Central Bank is no democracy, taking powers away from every single parliament and being able to have a single currency and a monetary policy and an interest rate which takes all political power away from us. As my right honourable friend said in his first speech, after the proposal of a single currency is about the politics of Europe. It is about a federal Europe by the back door.
Ooh, but that's the danger. What if that currency becomes one world? We're trapped forever.
We just want to let you know the New World Order has no legitimacy, and that we as a people are not afraid, and we are waking up to the robber barons and the big banksters who are looting the economy with the Federal Reserve.
Microchip implants use the same technology that's in contactless credit cards, which have made cash pretty much obsolete, merging their hands with this new technology.
I thought it would be fun, right?
The process is simple and swift. A pinch of the skin, and in a matter of seconds, the chip is inserted. The transformation is complete. As for the pain,
I barely felt it.
Not only are we trapped forever in a one-world currency, it's going to be inside your skin. Then there's no escape. You owe money, turn it off.
In dollar terms, Bitcoin is going to infinity because the dollar is going to zero, like every piece of garbage fiat money before it.
What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the first decentralized digital currency. Bitcoins are digital coins you can send through the internet. Compared to other alternatives, Bitcoins have a number of advantages. Bitcoins are transferred directly from person to person via the net, without going through a bank or clearinghouse. This means that the fees are much lower. You can use them in every country. Your account cannot be frozen, and there are no prerequisites or arbitrary limits. Let's look at how it works. Several currency exchanges exist where you can buy and sell Bitcoins for dollars, euros, and more. Your Bitcoins are kept in your digital wallet on your computer or mobile device. Sending Bitcoins is as simple as sending an email, and you can purchase anything with Bitcoin. The Bitcoin network is secured by individuals called miners. Miners are rewarded newly generated Bitcoins for verifying transactions. After transactions are verified, they are recorded in a transparent public ledger. Bitcoin opens up a whole new platform for innovation. The software is completely open source and anyone can review the code.
And then bam, there's your answer. Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency in the hands of the people, not in the skin of the people. Poof. Hopefully they don't have any other ways to enslave us.
And it's particularly important that as rich countries are looking to reduce budget deficits, that they not go after the very small part of the budget that is buying vaccines and breakthrough seeds, that they continue that generosity, because the poorest now more than ever can benefit from this very effective aid.